Hi everyone, this is Miss Tomorrow here with another Read Aloud. Today we're going to be reading one of my favorite stories that really gets you thinking about if a character is honest, which means if a character is telling the truth. So grab your favorite stuffed animal, a cozy blanket, a friend, a family member, whatever you need to get ready to read this story along with me. This story is very interesting. It's called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. In this story, we're really going to have to be thinking about the three little pigs. Do you remember that story where the big bad wolf came in and he huffed and he puffed and he blew their house down? I remember that story. I've heard it a lot of times. But now we're going to hear it told by the big bad wolf. So in The Three Little Pigs, the narrator, or the person who tells the story, is the three little pigs. But in this story, the narrator is the big bad wolf. And he has a different story to tell us about what happened when he went to their houses. Let's hop in this book and see what the big bad wolf has to say about it all. The True Story of the Three Little Pigs, as told by Jon Scieszkq, illustrated by Jane Smith. Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story, because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. What's one reason that the big bad wolf says that people think he's big and bad? Let's go back and reread that part, because that's what good readers do. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. So the big bad wolf is saying that people think he's big and bad because he eats cute little animals. And he said, you know what? If a cheeseburger was cute, people would call you big and bad too for eating it. I guess it kind of makes sense. I don't know. We have to figure out if the three little pigs were lying or if the big bad wolf was lying. I think it kind of makes sense what he said. What do you think? Let's see what else he has to say. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. So he's saying the whole thing has to do with a sneeze and a cup of sugar. Can you make a prediction or guess what's going to happen with a sneeze and a cup of sugar in the story? That's a good prediction. Let's see what he says happened, and let's see if your prediction comes true. Way back in once upon a time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had this whole house made out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house of straw? So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed. Achoo! And I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? The whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw. So I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger, just lying there. What did the wolf say happened when he went to the first little pig's house? Good. He said he walked up to the house, and the house was just made out of straw. So he knocked on the door. The door fell down because, of course, if it's just made out of straw, it's not very strong. And he didn't want to walk in, so he asked to see if the little pig was there, but he didn't respond. So the big bad wolf was going to leave, but then, he really had to sneeze, and he accidentally sneezed right at the house, and the house blew down. This seems a little bit different from what the three little pigs told us. The three little pigs told us that the big bad wolf was so hungry and he went to their house to try to find them to eat them. And when he went up to their house, they were afraid, so they didn't let him in. And instead of just walking away or finding something else to eat, the big bad wolf huffed and he puffed and he blew their house down. And in this story, he just sneezed and it fell over. And then he said he saw the little pig laying there dead, and instead of just leaving him, he knew he had to just eat him. Otherwise, it would be a waste. I can't tell yet if the big bad wolf is lying or telling the truth. What do you think? I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house. The neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house of sticks. I rang the doorbell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. Wait a second. When the three little pigs told us this story, they said that the big bad wolf was banging on their door, trying to come in to eat them. And they said, not by the hair on my chinny chin chin, which means that there was no way that the little pigs were going to let that wolf into their house. But in this story, the big bad wolf is telling us that he asked nicely to come in. And the little pig was really mean. He said, "You can't come in, I'm too busy. I'm shaving my hair on my chinny chin chin." I don't know if that's what would really happen. Would you not answer the door and yell at someone if you were shaving your chin? I'm not sure that was the truth from the big bad wolf. Let's read a little bit more and see what he says happened. "I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a giant sneeze. Achoo! And you are not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doorknob. Wolf's honor." Do you know what the wolf means when he says wolf's honor? That one's a little bit tricky. So when the big bad wolf says, "I swear he was just laying there, dead after the house fell, wolf's honor," that means I'm telling the truth. I'm not lying. I wonder what he did when he found the dead pig. Now you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full. But my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house out of brick. I knocked on the brick house, no answer. I called, "Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in?" And do you know what that rude little porker answered? "Get out of here, wolf! Don't bother me again." Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me even one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. And I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed, and I stopped, and I sneezed once again. Achoo! Then the third little pig yelled, "And your old granny can sit on a pin." What on earth? The big bad wolf said that he went to his house and this pig was just plain old rude. He told him to go away and to get out of there. And the big bad wolf was going to leave, but he just sneezed and he couldn't cover his mouth. And then the pig yelled out, "His granny can go sit on a pin?" I don't know. I didn't think that the three little pigs were this mean. I wonder if the big bad wolf is telling the truth or if he's lying. Let's see what he does next. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down the pig's door. And the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. So he's saying he wasn't breaking down his door because he wanted to eat the pig. He was trying to break down his door because he was mad because he said something mean about his granny. He said, "I'm usually pretty calm, but this made me feel really angry." The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all of that huff and puff and blow your house down, and they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. That's the real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. So the big bad wolf said, "I swear, I was just going to their houses to ask to borrow some sugar to make my granny a birthday cake. But these 3 little pigs were mean as can be. And I only ate the first 2 because it would be a waste if I left them there." But the news reporters thought that story wasn't exciting enough. So instead, they made me out to be the big bad wolf. And they told everybody I just wanted to eat the pigs. And that's why I did it. What do you think is true? Do you think the 3 little pigs told the truth? Or do you think the big bad wolf told the truth? And why do you think that? I'd love to hear what you think is the truth and what you think is a lie. I hope you enjoyed this read aloud today, friends, of the true story of the 3 little pigs. It was so fun being able to read to you, and I hope it really got your brain thinking about some characters and how some of them can be honest and some of them can maybe tell some lies. Have a great day, friends. Bye.